Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the Mark Richt Show, presented to you by Williamson Automotive. Joe Zagacki alongside my broadcast partner, Don Bailey Jr., former team captain and center for the University of Miami. And it's all smiles right now. 3 in a row, Don, as the Canes try to make this a November to remember. A good win against North Carolina State.
Absolutely, and against a quality opponent. Thoroughly impressed, Joe, with Miami's offense and their running game. That offensive line that has been re-glued together the last couple weeks did a great job running the football against a team that was #1 in the ACC and #4 nationally going into the ball game, not allowing more than 99 yards per contest. Mark Walton comes up with a huge day, 120-some yards. He's got 3 touchdowns, some long runs, important runs, some short yardage runs that he turned, some long yardage runs, that he turned into first downs. And then, of course, Armon Richards once again offensively going at it. And then you go to the defensive side of the football with Manny Diaz, and they just keep ringing it up. I mean, the intensity is there for a full 60 minutes. 2 more takeaways, an outstanding team performance for Miami.
North Carolina State was a team offensively that went in, averaging nearly 30 points a game. Miami holds them down, especially in the red zone. They were just 1 for 4 converting in the red zone.
Yeah, spectacular number. I mean, NC State was ranked in the red zone about their success there, but you look at what has happened really in the month of November, it seems like this is a new football team. You know, most teams, no matter where you are or where you've been, you have a tough October like that. Sometimes that hangover never goes away. Well, Miami snapped out of it. And as you mentioned, you're looking for 4 in a row in November. And it's been a long, long time since that's happened.
Well, the scene was Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina, on the campus of North Carolina State University. Let's take a look at the highlights brought to you by UHealth Sports Medicine. We'll get you back in the game. Magically looks to his right and comes forward, swings the leg, and away we go. Days takes it, runs right side and hit, and I'm not sure if he got there. There was great penetration. Finley's going deep down the field. It is knocked away by Cornell. What a play. Watch for a jailbreak screen. Here it comes. Finley throws, and it's caught. Oh, my. What a hit. And the ball comes through. They're going to say it was down. First down, Kaya from the shotgun. Right waiting, has it. Deals it to Walton. Over the right side, he's got a big hole. He's at the 20, he's at the 15, 10, 5. Mark Walton will score, standing up. A 30-yard touchdown for Mark Walton. Takes the snap, here comes the blitz. Gets away from Trent Harris. Rolls the pocket left side, throws end zone. Intercepted by Malik Young. In the end zone, what a play. Looks left, fires left. Armon Richards has it and the record. Now Armon Richards owns the freshman receiving record for yards. Walton top of the eye, he gets it. He drives right side. He's through into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. Mark Walton diving into the end zone. Takes it, tosses, Days to the right side. He's hit and lunges into the end zone for a touchdown. Spiraling kick. Cherry drifting left, calls for a fair catch. Drops the football. It's loose. Miami has it. Jaquan Johnson comes up with the football. Kaya takes, deals. Walton steers it up the middle, breaks a tackle on much more. There he goes, 10, 5. Mark Walton into the end zone, standing up for a Hurricane touchdown. And that brings the curtains down on the show in Raleigh. A most satisfying victory for the University of Miami. That's 3 in a row. Hurricanes 27, North Carolina State 13. Welcome back, everyone, to the Mark Richt Show, presented by Williamson Automotive. Joe Zagacki, Don Bailey Jr., and now joined by University of Miami head coach Mark Richt. And, Coach, that's 3 in a row now. Congratulations on another great win.
It was a great victory. It was fun. It's fun to win. It's fun to go on the road and win. The most fun after the game is in the locker room, just celebrating with the guys. That just about makes it worth it for me, and I know it does for them too. But yeah, talking about rushing the football, I think when you block better, it helps. I think when you break tackles, it helps. I think when you block in the perimeter, it helps. And I think if you're throwing and catching the ball pretty good, you cause people to start playing more coverage, meaning less man-to-man, more zone, less one high safety looks with the other safety in the box, and more two safety type looks to stop the pass, and then all of a sudden the runs have a chance to spit out of there, and there's just a little bit more space between the back and a safety who might be coming down into the box rather than already being there to begin with. So it helps. Those things help a lot.
A couple of questions on Mark Walton. Let's see. Not only has he run over 100 yards each of the last 3 games, my first question would be, I think in each of the last 3 games he also has brought the curtains down with a fourth quarter touchdown. And 2 of those games were long runs, Pittsburgh and Virginia. And then going back to what you were saying about coming back to certain plays, I think it was a 1st and 20 call perhaps. 1st and 20 was after a penalty, and you gave the ball to Mark, and he ran it out for a first down. It was in the third quarter.
Yeah, we were backed up, and it was a play that actually can hit just about anywhere. Most of the times it's going to hit up through the line of scrimmage, that particular play, but the defense kind of knew that's where the ball tends to go, and a safety fit inside when he really shouldn't have, and we bounced it, and then he had enough space to go get the first down, got us out of trouble, which was great.
Coach, also when you look at that game, so much went on in the first half, the battle, so to speak, but you get the ball back with 5:30 or 5 and change, and to know that you finished with that. That's I think that probably was one thing that was really overlooked, that you were able to close it out and take control of that time, but also end up scoring points.
Right, we knew, and we talked about it. I think there was a TV timeout before that drive started, and that's exactly what we talked about. We're like, look, there's 5:30 to go. Let's finish this thing like a championship team. If we drive the ball, chew up clock, and get any points, if we get a 3 or a touchdown, we know they got to score twice, and probably 2 minutes or less to go. So as it turned out, we ended up getting the touchdown. I thought it was 3rd and 3, but I think we scored on a 2nd down when I went back and looked at it. But we were in field goal range, and I was going to be very happy to pound 2 more times, and if we didn't get a first down, that's fine. I was going to go in and trust the kicking team to get this field goal and make it a 10-point game with less than 2 minutes to go. It's just tough to come back, and when you got to score, get an onside kick, score again, it's tough to do. So we knew any points was going to be huge, and to get the touchdown was really big.
Defense was solid all day, and especially in the red zone. I think they were 1 for 4 in the red zone.
Our red zone defense has been fantastic, and one of our biggest keys to success defensively is just flat out being able to tackle properly, and not only tackle properly fundamentally, not only from a safety standpoint, but for the ability to get guys on the ground on a consistent basis when you're facing him up or from the side, profile tackle. But I'm talking about, we had a lot of tackles from behind where a guy's just getting ready to, he makes a guy miss maybe, and he's about to go to the house, but somebody pursued hard enough to get him on the ground and force him to play another snap and get in the red zone, and then play that red zone defense, get that pick. It was just really a great job all the way around by our defense. I was really proud of them.
Coach, Senior Day is coming up. You don't have a lot of seniors, but it should be memorable.
I'm looking forward to that. We have played in 2 senior games, our senior days already. Virginia Senior Day and NC State Senior Day. And we're 2-0 on Senior Day, so we got to make it 3-0 on Senior Days. But it'll be our seniors this time. And I told the team and told the seniors it is an emotional time and it's a very meaningful time for them. But just because we have emotion when the game starts doesn't mean we're going to win the game. I mean, the last 2 teams had that same emotion. It meant a lot to those seniors, but they didn't get to have the victory in the end. And so it's going to take more than just the emotion of wanting to play good for the seniors. You need to practice good, for the seniors. You need to practice good Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, how you prepare. There's no school, it's just ball. And so let's take care of ourselves. Let's take care of business just in preparation for this game, and let's finish strong for everybody.
Okay, and when we come back, we will shift our attention to the Duke Blue Devils right here on the Mark Richt Show, so don't go away. Welcome back, everyone, to the Mark Richt Show, presented by Williamson Automotive. Joe Zagacki, Don Bailey Jr., and University of Miami head coach Mark Richt. And this week, the Hurricanes take on the Duke Blue Devils at Hard Rock Stadium, 3:30 kickoff, the final home game of the year and senior day. And we've had good crowds this year, Coach, but this would be really special to have a great crowd for this one.
I hope we have an awesome crowd. I know whoever's there is awesome, but I want a lot of awesome people to show up and to honor those seniors. And it's the last one. You know, let's have a ball one more time together. And you know, the other thing I like the name of our stadium. That's a good name. Hard Rock Stadium. I mean, that's pretty strong. So beautiful place. It's supposed to be wonderful weather. And you know, let's just take advantage.
Weekend?
Yeah, I mean, let's go out here, and it's a 3:30 game. I mean, you can't ask for a better time of the day. You don't have to get up too early. You don't have to stay up too late. It's going to be perfect, beautiful weather. And the Canes are going to get after it one more time. So, and then again, of course, you know, it is such a great moment for the seniors to get, you know, just get the cheers one more time as they get their names announced before the game. And some guys are unsung heroes that the fans might not even know, you know, but they'll get honored that day too. And I know it's a great moment for not only them, but their family members as well.
This is a worthy opponent, Duke. Now, they've struggled a little bit, as you mentioned. 2 of their wins are against Carolina and Notre Dame. And, oh, by the way, last year for the University of Miami to beat them, it took 8 crazy plays, all in one.
Right. Yeah, I heard. I saw the tape and all that kind of thing. You're right. 2 teams we couldn't beat, they did beat. So that in itself should tell everybody it's time to hook it up one more time. And, you know, in this league, just about everybody's beating everybody else. Or they beat them, and that team beat them, but that team lost to that one. And, I mean, so anything can happen any Saturday afternoon, and we know that. But it's going to be great to finish out the season at home in front of our families, in front of our friends, and in front of our fan base. And I know our players are really looking forward to it.
Defensively, Coach, in the past, they played a game where, okay, you might move the ball down to the 20-yard line, but once you get into the red zone, we're going to play our game. We'll hit your quarterback before you can get the ball to your receiver. They want to play great red zone defense. You see the same style from Duke, and a very experienced secondary, too.
I'll be honest with you. To this point, I've studied mostly like 20 to 20, first and second downs. So I haven't studied a bunch of the red zone yet, but just talking to, you know, some of our coaches and just knowing what they've done in the past, that's exactly how they like to play ball.
Coach, a guy that I've watched a lot on defense that actually 2 of them, the 2 defensive tackles that you have, you know, McIntosh and Norton, those guys have had a heck of a season and really hadn't gotten a whole lot of praise, but they seem to being very, very productive.
Oh, they have been. I mean, our front 7 all the way around has been pretty good. You got those freshman linebackers, and then you got the front 4, which is really more like the front 8 or 9. You know, we've been able to have enough depth to roll people at that position. It's been great for us. It's one of the few positions where we've, you know, had enough guys to withstand some injuries at times and still be able to have the high production. But those 2 in particular have played extremely well.
They got to tackle a big guy this week. Quarterback is 6'5". Yeah. Freshman 6'5".
He is. I watched him play on TV a couple times. Mostly in that North Carolina victory, and he had a lot of plays that there was some quarterback run that was designed, and sometimes he just took off when something wasn't there in the pass game, and you know, kept the chains moving. So I think he had at least 1, maybe two red zone touchdowns down there, and so the quarterback run is going to be something we got to be ready for.
All right, Coach. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
That's University of Miami head coach Mark Richt, and when Don and I come back, we'll wrap up the show as we continue our preview of Duke right here on the Mark Richt Show. Welcome back, everyone, to the Mark Richt Show, presented by Williamson Automotive. Joe Zagacki and Don Bailey Jr. And this Saturday at 3:30, it is Miami and Duke from Hard Rock Stadium. It's the final home game of the season, so number one, want to have a great crowd there. But number two, Don, we start with, of course, last year, Miami and Duke. Still a lot of feelings about last year's game.
There sure are, Joe, and I guess you're one of the reasons for that, right? I would think that call at the end of the game where Corn Elder got the final, I guess, reception and took it into the end zone, it's just something for the ages. But listen, this is going to be a tough ball game for Miami. They should win this game, but they have to play Miami football. They can't give Duke opportunities because Duke is well coached. They've got a lot of talented guys on that football team, and you don't want to make it easy for the Blue Devils on senior day at the Rock.
Let's start with Duke's offense. Daniel Jones is the quarterback. He's 6'5". There are going to be a lot of quarterback runs, and they've got 3 tight ends that create matchup problems.
They do, Joe. And listen, Coach Cutcliffe decided a few years ago that they're going to run the football. The quarterback is going to run the football. And we all know what he can do with a quarterback, what a great trainer is. But they run a lot of pistol formation, and they run it well. They execute everything extremely well, but also the tight ends have been a mix. They're a big target for a young quarterback. This is a freshman, and he is a guy that understands his role. He's groomed so far this season to be productive, to not make silly mistakes, to make sure that he gets the right play called and gets the football to the right person.
On defense, the Blue Devils have a couple of defensive tackles. What they want to do is keep you out of the end zone, but when you get to the red zone, that's where they take a lot of pride. That's where a lot of their pressure increases on the quarterback. So Miami, as they did last week, they were very good in the red zone. They're going to have to be sharp in the red zone this week.
They are, because Duke buckles down and that side of the field, and they're big. I mean, they're not an undersized football team. They've recruited a lot of 3- and 4-star players from throughout the country. There's players from Florida, from California. You name the spot, they're from there, and they've been coached very well on that side of the football as well. So they're always looking for the takeaway. They're going to make you take the long way. They hope that your offense is going to make a mistake, especially they hope it's a turnover.
All right, last game for the seniors, guys like Jamal Carter, Rayshawn Jenkins, Corn Elder, Danny Isadora, Alex Gall in that mix. Last home game of the year to see Brad Kaya, who the last 3 games has been spectacular. He's going to end up with over 3,000 yards passing and probably over 20 touchdown passes and have another great season.
This young man has been very, very productive. He's going to push the envelope as far as yardage goes, total yardage for the year. I like how efficient he is. And, you know, people look at last week's game and they look, well, no touchdown. Well, that means he didn't make any silly mistakes. He followed the rules. He is doing an excellent job as the president of this offense. Not the manager, but the president. He understands what his role is. He's distributing the football. He's got the running game going on his behalf, and that it's going to be an excellent ball game on Saturday.
All right, partner. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
I'll do that, Joe, and I'm going to have 2 helpings.
Very good. It's a good plan. Kickoff is at 3:30, by the way, on Saturday afternoon at Hard Rock Stadium, Hurricanes and the Duke Blue Devils. For Don Bailey Jr. and University of Miami Hurricanes head coach Mark Richt, I'm Joe Zagacki. Thanks for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next time right here on the Mark Richt Show.